4 or 5 different stocks that you like, stuff that you probably use every day. If people know they can come to your OnlyFans and learn how to produce a track, they're gonna subscribe. Do this for years. This is long term. Hey, what's going on? I was just for the last few days or so, I've been thinking to myself, and I was like trying to figure, like, because a lot of things be going through my mind, and I'm trying to figure when is there a good time for your kids to leave the home, for you to be ready for them to leave the home. Like, some people think as soon as they're 18, 19, 20, we got certain ages, right? So I was thinking about that, and I was like, kind of really, it's not a good age. I think it's more of timing, when it's the correct time. Now, if they want to leave when they're 18 or whatever, that's cool. I think it's timing, and the reason why I say it's timing, because I think if you're a kid, say, okay, I'm old enough to make grown-up decisions. Now, the timing is, what type of decisions are they going to make during this time, right? For me, it's different for everybody, but for me, if my child decides to go to school, I think, you can stay home, because I don't need the stress of them. I don't want them to be stressful, having to pay bills. Dude, I go to work, I need study time, all that stuff, right? So definitely if they're in school, you want them to be in the home, right? And don't be charging them no rent, nothing, because they need to focus on school. Now, if they become a career student, now we got to draw the line somewhere. Like, all right, you 30 years old, you started going to school when you was 18, you quit, you start, you quit, you start. It just all really depends, right? So, the reason why I don't have it's timing, because what if your kid is living, they're working, they are working, they're just not sitting around doing nothing. But what are they doing? Do you allow them to just spend their money and waste it? Or spend it as they see fit? And I know some people just like, okay, just want their child home at their house or whatever. And some people don't want their child home. But if you're not gonna push them out of the nest, what are they gonna do? And all kids are different once they become adults. So sometimes they might not know what to do. I would advise you to say, hey, you're gonna be in my home. You ain't got to give me no money, but you need to be putting up a certain amount of your paycheck. So generational wealth starts somewhere. It just don't start with somebody getting a bright idea. And sometimes they can occur generational wealth by meeting somebody else and somebody break it down to them or whatever, because their parents really ain't push it, or their parents too busy being their friend, or just not really pushing it to them, right? For whatever reason. But I think if my kids, it wouldn't matter how old they are, if they was living with me, I would tell them, hey, you don't have any bills, I think you should save half of your paycheck every payday. Half of the payday. Half of the paycheck. I'm not asking for any money. And the only way I would charge them rent if I think they're wasting their money, they're not trying to take care of business. Because you got to give them a chance to accumulate money. Maybe they can get them a car. Maybe they can save up money, get their first house or first apartment. Give them a fighting chance. Give them the chance you didn't get. Or if you did get that chance, put them in position, right? But if they don't want to do nothing and they just want to waste their money, but they can buy stuff. Like, as long as they put up half of the check, whatever's left, they want to buy video games, they want to waste it, whatever, I don't care. As long as you're putting something up so you can be in a better situation once you decide you want to move out. So I don't agree that putting kids out as soon as they turn 18 if they're trying to do something with their life. And even then, let's say they are trying to do something with their life, but they become disrespectful. Do we reward them? Or make excuses for them, whatever? No, 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 no. Me, I don't know about nobody else. Everybody got different structures or different situations how they handle their kids, right? But if you start to allow your kids to disrespect you, it's no different than an abusive relationship. You got a verbally abusive relationship with your child, right? And I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It'll happen again and again and again. And at some point, you're the teacher. The parents are the teachers. Kids kind of learn from the parents. Even if you was doing bad at first and you want to do good now, it's never too late to start teaching your kids. Your kids can be 40 years old. It's never too late to start teaching your kids. I mean, it's going to be harder. The older they get, it's going to be hard, right? But, so, once they become disrespectful, you have to put them out. You have to say, nah, go on about your... It don't make a difference what excuse they give. Oh, you don't care about me, this, that. But you got to teach them you can't be disrespectful to me. If you allow them to be disrespectful and still live with you, you're not teaching them anything. Why would they respect anybody else out there? Why do they respect their boss or anybody else? They'll just, my mom don't even make me say that. My dad don't even do that. Or, yeah, but if you're being disrespectful, then where would it end, right? So if they're not doing nothing with their money, they're not trying to take care of business, they gotta go. Because if they say, okay, I'll save money, I'll take care of my business, okay, you can stay, all right? And if they're being disrespectful, they gotta go. My main thing is, when I was young, I had people talking to me about the same stuff here I'm talking about. It just don't resonate with you when you're young. It really don't. I mean, I moved out at a young age also, so the same stuff wouldn't apply to me. I was out before about the age of 16. My first apartment by the age of 18. I had already put the application in when I was 17. Got the apartment a couple of weeks after I turned 18, so I was out there. But everybody's situation ain't the same. So I do think that we're disabling our kids, especially our grown kids, if we don't make them stand for something, right? You let them live in your apartment as long as you want to. Even if you decide you want to charge them to live there, charge them something so cheap that they're still allowed to put up money. Because if they just live in there and say, well, I'm paying my way, like, what are you doing for them? Well, okay, you charging them money, but they don't have to put up no money. Do you plan on them living with you forever? Because it's going to get to the point you want your place back. So now you waited until they turn 40. Now they got to get out, right? Which they probably should have been out way before that. But you have to put some boundaries down so they'll be okay. You can't just be their friend. You got to be their parent, no matter how old they are, right? So I feel let them live free as long as it seems like they're taking care of business. They're going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? If they're not taking care of business, what's the point of you being here? I love you, but I need my space. Like, you're grown. I know some parents be like, get out, you 18, you got to go. And this probably depends on how disrespectful they are, or they not respecting their house, But if they're respectful, they're taking care of their business, hey, because it still can't last forever. I don't care how good of a child you are. It's not supposed to last forever. So in that sense, like, I'm asking, how long do you believe a child, after they turn 18, how long should they live with their parents? There's no set date. There's no set age. But when is it time for them to leave? And what do we do before they leave? You got to put them in position that they'll survive. They probably survive anyway. Some of these kids are very smarter than us than when we was coming up. All these gadgets and everything, the internet and everything. But you want, before they leave, you need to put them in position. Well, let them put themselves in position, right? I mean, I do talk about stocks and all that stuff. I'm talking about even if they're not into stock, if you're not into stocks, 401ks and all that stuff. I mean, if they got a job, you still need to talk to them about 401k. But let's say you can't even get them to do that or whatever, which you should be able to talk them into getting a 401k or whatever program that the job has, right? And have them convince them that they need to put, if they live in free or if they live in just paying a couple $100s a month and they're not paying real rent, you should be able to convince them to put up majority of their check every payday. They're going to be upset. They're going to complain because they ain't used to paying no bills and they thinking you telling me to do with my money. This is my money. I should better do what I want to do with it. That is true. You give them some time. Okay, now you don't want to listen. You're a grown up and you don't think you don't have to listen to me no more. Now it's time to be the grown up that you claim you are. Take care of yourself. I'm trying to guide you. You don't want to listen. It's time to take care of yourself. You gotta go. But if I see you taking care of business, and the only reason why I would be on them like this, because I didn't have that situation when I was coming up. I was out early. Didn't have a relationship with my father, and me and my mom wasn't that cool. I was out early. So when there's nothing they can say, they can point, well, you didn't do this when you was young, you did, especially if they both have both of their parents in their life. Especially if they have both of their parents in their life. There's no excuse. They can have all their habits or whatever, whether they smoking weed or whether they drinking or whatever. That's not an excuse to me. That's a bill. You still need to put up majority of your money and then you can do what you want to do with your extra money. But when you don't have any rent or when your rent is $200, $300 a month, there's no way you shouldn't be out there just putting money up, taking care of business. You can get you a car whenever you want to. You should be getting all this type of stuff out the way that you would not be able to do, that or that it'll be a lot harder to do once you get your own apartment. Because once you get your own apartment, you're going to really have to budget, or you're going to be back and forth losing apartments, having to get help, having to move in with people because you didn't take life serious when people was trying to tell you this is what you need to do. So that's just the question. When should you tell your kids they have to move out? Something to think about. And if you're going to make them move out, make sure they straight. Make sure you let them save some money. And just don't like, hey, I'm going to give you a year. If they really about saving money, give them 3. Hey, you 18? Okay, you're going to be doing some adult stuff now. I give you to 21. So don't just say you got into 21. You got to give them a plan. They don't got to follow the plan, but 21, if you start saving half of your paycheck, I'll be telling people save $25, $50. But nah, if you don't have any rent, or if your rent only $100, $200 for living with somebody, no, you need to save half of your paycheck. No, there's no reason why you shouldn't. You 18. I'm not going to put you out there. Only way I'll put you out right now is if you being disrespectful and you're not listening. You can't disrespect me and still live under my household. But if you're not being disrespectful, you 18 now. I know you're going to be staying out later. You're going to be working. You're going to be doing all this stuff, and you're going to feel like a grown-up. That's what people do. They feel like a grown-up. But you need to save some money. You ain't going to listen to everything I say. Save some money. You want a car? I'll help you with the car, but now you're a young adult. It's time to take care of business. Insurance, it's time to take care of business. Because they're going to find out, even if they don't have really bills, if they get forced to be a young adult, they still going to have bills. Whether it's a cell phone bill, whether it's a car note, whether it's insurance. Just because you're not paying no rent, you're still going to have some bills. But you got to prepare them. Once they get out there, they're going to have car note, insurance, cell phone bill, and they're going to have some bills. It's going to be a difference. If you can't survive, if you can't handle not having any bills but your car note, cell phone, you're going to have a hard problem when there's rent, gas, and electric. You know what I'm saying? So I think they should be able to stay as long as they want. Well, as long as it takes, if depending on what they're doing with their life. If they're in school, no, you staying here. You ain't got to worry about no bills or whatever. I want you to be successful. That's the way I'm going to help you. If they're not in school, oh, you can stay until you're 21 or whatever. Or if it go past 21, there's really no time limit. If it go past 21, you can stay as long as you're putting up money. They might buy a house in about 5 or 6 years. They might buy some rental property. I want to see them survive. I mean, not just survive, I want to see them succeed. But if they're not trying to do nothing with their life, they got to go. You holding up my life. You know, I done did what I had to do. You grown now and you ain't doing nothing with your life but wasting money or whatever. You got to go. All right, y'all. Y'all look into the description. Y'all gonna see Meanie Montana merchandise. Y'all click on that, the merchandise store. Y'all can get a Meanie Montana shirt, so y'all can get the I Eat Knowledge for Breakfast shirts. I got Meanie Montana mugs. I got Meanie Montana I Eat Knowledge. I got the I Eat Knowledge for Breakfast mugs. You can support. Or you can drop something through the Cash App. It don't make no difference to me as long as it's support, right? And we gonna do this. I'm out of here.